everyone turned their backs on me when I lost everything. When I had everything, everyone was present. The moment I lost everything, everyone was gone. No one was reaching out. No one. Everyone that I helped build millions and build even six figures, even my own contractors and everyone in my own staff, turned their backs on me. Everyone was gone. And so the only people that opened their doors for me was my parents. And so when I went back into their home, I said, you know what? This is my new why.
That's crazy.
Like this is now, when I build again, I'm going to pay off their home, which is my dad's dream, right? To pay off his home. They worked so hard for it. So I'm going to pay off their home. I'm going to retire them young, and I'm going to get them some cash flow. And that's exactly what I did. I turned around and I was like, I'm gonna do this for them. And I started building. And little by little, you know, started with the money that was coming in from the tire shop at that time. It was a tire shop, and I converted it into an automotive repair place. So I started doing automotive repair. And start adding more things that you can service. And little by little, so that money that came in, I would grab it, put it back into the business. Grab it, put it back into the business. I would literally use like 10% of it. And the rest, 90% goes back into the business, staff, marketing, whatever we need, put it back into merchandise. And then keep feeding the business until the business made me enough where I was able to purchase the first property. And here we go again. Let's start investing.
This was back in what, 2015?
No, I started back in like 2009.
Oh, 2009, wow.
I waited about it. I told you.
Right after,
I was like, if I could borrow some money, I already have the knowledge. That's why I tell people, get the knowledge, get the information. Once you know it, you can already implement. You know, learn, you got to listen, learn, and apply yourself. I mean, if you can't apply yourself, then all that information you just received from nothing. All those notes means nothing. And me, I went through all that and I crashed, but I knew what I had built before. So I was like, I know how to do this. I just got to keep it moving and do it again. When I have enough money racked up, and I could start investing again. And then we started, and I was able to pay off my parents' home. We were able to get them a multi-unit complex that started paying them and retiring them.
Passive income.
Passive income until the day they live off of that. You know, like earlier this year, they were off for like the beginning of months. They were on vacation everywhere, traveling. That's what they could do. Right. And so
that's amazing.
And their house is paid for. So it's like they don't have to worry about a mortgage.
Welcome to the Limitless CEO, another day in paradise. Today we have a special guest from the IE. He owns the IE. He's a business coach, real estate investor, and an influencer. Anyways, thank you for coming. Thank you for taking the drive. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Diego Alba, and I've been around as an entrepreneur for 23 years. And alongside of being an entrepreneur, I've always invested in real estate. So I've always been side by side. You know, I started with vehicles, you know, flipping some cars, and then started with one house, and then started just kind of building businesses and just growing from there. But 23 years, man.
Wow.
I remember I used to say entrepreneurship. Like when people used to ask me who I was or what I wanted to be, I was like, I'm an entrepreneur. And people didn't even know what that meant back then. You know, back in the days, it's like, what the heck is the entrepreneur? Like,
what does it mean?
This guy has no job.
How do you eat that?
This guy has no job. Which is true, right? I had no job. I was a business owner. So, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and that's what I've been doing for my whole life. Really, I love what I do.
Yeah. How is it like growing like Diego Alba, like as a boy?
When we first got here, I came here, for those of you that don't know me, I came from Mexico. And I don't know, basically...
What part of Mexico?
Guadalajara. Yeah, estoy nacido en Guadalajara, Mexico. So
nice.
We got here poor. You know, we got here, we were on the streets. We literally came here with nothing. And it was me, my sister, my mom and dad. And when we came, we had nothing. We were blessed to get picked up on the streets. We were on the streets one night. It was raining.
What city?
There was... This was in Pico Rivera. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we got picked up and luckily by a family that saw us and gave us a home without anything. Like
so literally like on the street, like homeless.
Street. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. And my parents were just looking for an opportunity, and so they came. And we were picked up. They were both able to get jobs, and they worked their butt off to get us to where we needed to be. But my parents, I don't come from a wealthy background, or my parents weren't entrepreneurs themselves. They weren't business owners. They worked, one of them worked in, I don't know, Alpha Beta. I don't know how old you are, but Alpha Beta became
35.
Alpha Beta became Food for Less. My dad worked there for many years.
I didn't know that.
And then my mom, Pollo Loco. My mom worked for Pollo Loco since when it was a new company, and they used to wear sombreros. You know, and but they were always worked for companies, and so. But my dad, instilled in me like the drive of like, hey, you can make, you could buy this, flip this, make this, and and then you can start kind of like showing me how to make money. With hustles and doing one thing and another, and he was my first mentor, man. My own, my lifetime mentor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice. So did you go to school here, or?
I did. You know what? I got here when I was about 4.5, 5 years old. Very challenging moments when we came, obviously, because we didn't know English. I know English now, but at that time we didn't. My sister was older than me, so she would come home crying, getting picked on.
Yeah.
Myself, I would get picked on a lot too, because we didn't fit in. I guess we didn't know we didn't know the language, and
it's hard growing up.
Yeah, it was hard growing up. But my dad taught me. He helped me and showed me basically like, hey, just allow people, like give people a chance, but also limit their chances. Like don't allow them to pick on you, too much. Like if they give them a chance once, the second time, the third time, it's time to knuckle up, and fight. And you got to fight for yourself. And so I grew up a fighter, man. To be honest with you, I grew up. I'm not a big guy, but I grew up a fighter just because I would do that. Exactly how my dad brought me up. He would he pretty much instilled that in me. Like, hey, give people a chance once, twice. After the third time, them picking on you, like start knuckle up. And my mom would be worried. I would remember I would get suspended and I'd come home and then with the face. Your dad, your parents already know like, oh, what happened now?
They're like, what happened to you?
Yeah, and then my mom's already like, oh, again, you got suspended. My dad's like, did you win?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Did you watch? They're going to stop picking on you now.
Yeah.
and it was right. Like after I would stick up for myself, like they would stop picking on me. So I think that's the case even now in my entrepreneurship world, and being on social medias and all the platforms. Like people try to hate on me and pick on me and they think it's new to me. And I'm like, I grew up this way, man.
Yeah.
People always talked about the way I looked, the way I talked, like everything, and I stuck up for myself. I'm still doing it till this day.
I think people just hate, haters. They don't know what it's like growing up. And I mean, people just talk. And as long as you're, authentic and you're helping people and you're yourself, I think that's good enough.
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest things is, were you born here yourself?
Well, I was born here and then I was taken back to Mexico, to León, Guanajuato. So my dad's from Guadalajara.
Oh, somos vecinos.
Sí, yeah, my mom is, she's from León, Guanajuato. All my brothers and sisters from León, Guanajuato. I got back here like when I was like 8, 9. Okay. I went to middle school and then I dropped out when I was in high school, like 9th grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And why did you drop out?
I dropped out because I didn't like school. Not because I didn't like to study. Mm-hmm. I really like math and English and other subjects, but like I didn't like people picking on me. Mm-hmm. I was a fighter as well, but like I got bullied a lot and I didn't have any like income. I would struggle with like buying food and like I didn't have an extra clothes. Mm-hmm. So I just started working as a painter and I started working as a painter and
after you dropped out?
I dropped out? I dropped out when I was like 14.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then I started working ever since then.
Now, who was a painter in your family that you ended up taking that trade?
I mean, there was no one in my family as a painter. I'm like the only one that went the whole different route. Like in my family, everybody's either a musician or they're working for someone. But like no one is like in actual like has a business.
Oh, wow.
I was like the first one.
What made you go into painting or who gave you the opportunity to start into painting?
Well, basically, there was a family friend that he said, you want to work for me on your summer vacation? I'm like, yeah. And then he paid me like $40. I was fucking happy. $40 a day. That was a lot of money for me back then. So I started like just saving my money. I used to give half to my mom, half to me. And then I came back to school for a little bit. And then I just dropped out because I met my wife when I was like 15 and we got married. So I went all in. And I've been working 18 hours a day ever since then.
That's it, man. 18 hours a day. And people think the entrepreneurship way or being the boss is like, oh, you get to relax and go on vacation and don't worry about anything. But 18-hour days is my language.
Yeah, 100%.
That's how I work. And the funny thing about it is that when we work, at least for me, it's not really work.
Yeah.
Like I love what I do. So like every day, 18 hours it seems like not enough, right? Yeah. I want more. Like I feel like that. I don't know if you feel that way yourself.
I feel exactly the same. And I feel you, like I'm always working, like usually 3:45, I'm already like going sideways. I just wake up, take a cold plunge, go to the gym, hit it for 2 hours, and then come back and start my day. Every single day. I work out in the morning and in the afternoon as well.
That's awesome.
I just work.
Yeah,
that's all I do.
Speaking of which, I have a, I recently implemented that. I had a home gym for quite some years with my wife. I built a home gym for her, and I wasn't using it. And then recently I started using it for that same reason. Because I'm like, man, health is the only way you're going to be able to deliver for anyone in your family, for the families that you feed, right? People on your team, and then those that you help, and like myself, coach. I gotta be able to help them. If I'm not healthy, I can't help anyone.
You gotta set the example.
Yeah. So I've been hitting that gym, and we're blessed. We have an in-home gym which I built back when COVID hit. Yeah. When COVID hit and the gyms were closing, I was like, all right, well, let's just start buying all the equipment and everything that they have there and start
on sale.
build your own gym at home.
Yeah.
And we built a gym for her, and I've been using it ever since. She uses it herself as well, and it beats, it's valuing time. I tell people all the time to value your time because time is of the essence, which is true.
It is.
It's true, and it's a beauty, to be able to like work gym in between. Like we don't have to go anywhere. Yeah. It's at the house. So if I want to work out at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, or work out at 6 p.m. or 3 p.m., it's always there for me. So I don't have to wait in line or sign in or ask for anybody's permission. So we have a home gym, which I'm really proud of it. I'm glad that we have that.
Yeah. I don't have a home gym. I don't know, because I like having multiple memberships. Mm-hmm. So I have a 24-hour fitness, I have Ali Fitness, Ghost Gym, Equinox. So wherever I am, if I want to hit a workout,
you can just go right there. That's
just go. And not because I can't afford it. It's just I'm always on the road. I'm always working. Yeah. But it'll be good like for my wife and just have it there just in case.
Yeah. But just in case. Yeah. I mean, it's just it whatever pertains to your livelihood, right? And whatever you got going on. For instance, myself, like I do a lot of my business nowadays, remotely and via Zooms. Yep. I have access to all my businesses through online platforms, that I get on, and I get to see what they're doing. I have cameras everywhere. Yeah. So it's like I'm managing my businesses away from my business, which is what I help coach on, right? It's like, hey, you don't want to live in your business forever. You want to start kind of stepping away and start building them without you being present. Yeah. Because like you were talking to me about earlier, is that sometimes when you step away, we all face that. When you're a business owner, small business owner, you step away and then you turn around and start feeling the hit. Because no one's going to treat your business the way you treat your business. No one's going to make money the way you make money for your business because you're the owner. But you have to understand that you have to step away and take those hits to learn how to manage your businesses away from being there. Right. Because being there makes it a job. Working away from it makes it a business, a real business for me, from what I've been learning.
No, exactly.
And from what I coach. Yeah. So I mean, we're blessed to be able to like be away from it. And I have little ones, I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old boy, and being able to be with them throughout the days of me working one meeting after another, and being able to be remote. It's an amazing blessing,
it goes a long way. Especially at their young age. Like being with the kids and being with your wife and like just creating those memories. Yeah.
Because I've been that guy, right? I've been that person when I have a daughter that's just turned 26 actually.
Yeah, wow.
And I've been.
Bro, you look 26.
Yeah, I know.
What are you talking about?
I am 26, by the way. Let's take that back. But with her, she had to deal with that, right? Me not being there as much. I'm, where's daddy at? I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere because I'm running this business, I'm running that business. I'm trying to make ends meet, and trying to scale the businesses. So I tell people all the time, like I've done this so long. Yeah. That's why I say I own the IE because I represented the Inland Empire because I build my wealth in the Inland Empire. I build my businesses in the Inland Empire, and I wasn't born yesterday, right? Right. And so I've already gone through all the struggles that you can ever go through as a small business entrepreneur or just as an entrepreneur in general. Yeah. Because those are challenges that you're going to face when some of them that are young, right? That the young entrepreneurs that are watching, you don't have children. But the moment you do, you start kind of looking at the perspective of life changes, right? Exactly. Your whole life changes because now you have children that you have to look into. Okay, I have to spend time with them. I have to make sure that I'm raising them and not someone at school or someone else on TV or nowadays on social media.
Yeah, because kids don't like money. They want to spend time with you. They want to spend time like talking to you, taking them somewhere, creating memories, like swimming classes or whatever they're doing, sports. I mean, they don't care about money, really.
Yeah, they don't. You give my little one, like my 3-year-old, Man, it's funny. You give him dirt, give him some dirt and some toys to play with, and
Exactly.
and that's it. After that, he goes to town.
Yeah.
He's having fun, and he likes bugs. He likes
Yeah.
like little. I hate bugs, but he loves bugs, little things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But again, just valuing the time. I think when you get older, you start valuing time more. When
Yeah.
you're younger, you don't realize it. And so for me, it's more like, how can I leverage time?
Mhm.
How can I get more done within the certain time that I have in a day?
Right.
Right. So, like I was telling you on our way
Yeah.
here, way
Yeah.
here to this podcast, like, hey, let's
Exactly.
film, let's record, let's
Yeah.
Do some content.
You're doing like 3 days
make
in
some
one.
calls. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
by the time I'm here, I've already completed multiple
Mhm.
tasks,
Mhm.
right, on my day, and I'm on my second shift, on my third shift.
Yep. No, I agree 100%, and everything you're saying is on point. Like whatever I do as well, I do work 18 hours a day, but I take off a lot of time as well.
Mhm.
Like I take off with my family, and I'm always working. But when I'm with my family, it's quality time, energetic. With my kids, taking to swimming classes, or they're doing sports, cross country, whatever they're doing, we're there. And then when I'm in church, like Sundays, whatever, I'm there. I'm always grateful. So there's no such thing as balance, but it's my balance. Everybody has a different balance and a different schedule. For me, so I'm always working, and like you said, buying people's time. Like I have a full-time assistant, 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have a housekeeper. Like I don't do anything. I just try to buy people's time, and it's so valuable. And the only time I spend like the most, it's like that you can't replace or buy, is being with your wife, being with your kids, and like going with your one-on-one with your employees, like the PPS, personal, professional, and financial. I mean, those you kind of have to do yourself.
Yeah, you do.
So your people at the personal level.
Yeah, the vision comes from you. Overall, like when you're the business owner, the vision has to come from you, and if they don't hear it from you, they hear it from management or someone else. It's not the truth. They need to hear it from you. Yeah, sometimes you need to show up and give them that vision,
right,
and instill it in them, right?
Yeah. Do like picture a big vision where everybody wants to be in there. They want to drive it with you. And then just talking about the vision, what is your mission statement and company core values? How do you think that's aligned with your employees, and how important is it to drive your bigger vision to the bigger goal and take you there?
I think for me, the biggest, I kind of keep it simple. I think for me, it's like really when everyone gets started, it's like the first thing that I always ask is why. What's your why?
Yeah.
Right. My company's name is IGNYTE Enterprises, but Ignite is spelled with a Y in between.
Igniting the fire.
Ignite the fire. Exactly. Ignite the fire. So Ignite is basically the why that's in there. Is I always ask them, like, what's your why?
Oh, okay.
Like, before you come work with us,
so that's the reason behind the why.
What's your why? Like, what are you seeking, right? Because if it's just money, it's not going to be enough. No. Is there a why? Is there something you want to do for your parents? I retired my parents at a young age.
Wow.
So that was like a why for me at that time, right?
Yeah.
I have many different whys that I've had throughout my life. So for me, one of the core values is that, like, what's your why? Because I want to know that the day that we're having a hard day, right, and we're a tough day in business, that you're not going to give up on us.
Right.
I need someone that's going to be a warrior all the way through. And that why is going to be the one that's going to make or break you. Yeah. So if that why is strong, I know for a fact that we can go to war with you and nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to move us. Yeah. But if that why is, I don't know, I just care for a car, I just want some money, it's not going to be strong enough. So I really focus on making sure that we have strong whys. Yeah. No,
I love it, because if you have a why, okay, I want a car, you get that car, and then everything goes away, the motivation goes away.
That's it.
It's all about the discipline and the long-term vision. Like you said, like you need to have something bigger than that, something that is going to drive you.
100%.
Because I realized, like, when I was making like $1, let's say, and I was making $40, I was happy, but then I was not happy anymore. And then I was making more money. I got to the $100,000 mark, to the $1 million mark, and then you're still not. That doesn't make you happy. Yeah, that's just like a tool to create more memories or make life easier. There's a different purpose behind it. Right. And just going into that, like, what is your why and your reason and your purpose for yourself? What is your biggest?
Myself, I mean, right now, obviously my family right now, my wife and my kids, my little ones, my 3, and I mean, obviously all my kids, but I want to make sure that I'm putting everything together for them. Yeah. For the legacy to come. I don't want this to die out with just me. Right. The drive, everything that I built throughout the years, I don't want it to die. That's my biggest fear. Right. Because, like I say, I'm a fearless individual. Like, I fear nothing but God. Yeah. I fear God. I'm a God-driven individual, but I don't fear anything. Right. But the one thing I do when I was I had a situation. I'll give you the story. I was getting ready to purchase a property for my daughter, my oldest, and she didn't see the value in the property that I was going to buy for her.
Right.
And I was buying these multi-units for her cash.
Wow.
And she didn't see the value in it. And I'm not knocking my daughter.
Yeah.
It's just
so you were buying that property for your
for her,
for your daughter.
So the knowledge is not, and again, it's not on my daughter. It's on me. So it's me not giving her the right amount of information and sources for her to know where I'm at, so that she can continue forward with it.
Yeah.
It's what kind of hit me hard that time, and I said, you know what, I need to push harder, and I need to make sure that I'm showing them through the platforms and to what I'm doing and what I've done through all these years, showing them, because I don't want to die tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this all dies.
Yeah.
Everything that I built for nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can own the Inland Empire all I want, but the moment I'm gone, who's next?
Everything's gone.
And I want my children to be next.
Yeah.
So right now, my biggest why is them, making sure that they're next on the board and that they're going to take it from here.
And what's your plan around it?
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Like, what's your plan about like keeping that legacy and people that like to make you remember, and like having that legacy, and how what's the plan that you're gonna do to like transfer that legacy to your daughter and people to come?
I'm doing it now right here with you, brother. So my biggest thing is getting into different rooms, you know, and being on the different platforms. I think right now, overall, the platforms, every social media platform you should be on, if you're a business owner or an investor, you should be on platforms. That's what I talk about, is what I coach on, what I do my masterminds on, because this is it. This is the future.
Right.
And so my kids are going to be able to see me and see what I've done and see how I've grown and learn through this. So one of my biggest things was that, like, hey, you might not listen to me here in front of you,
right? But
when you see me on camera, you know, or on your screen, you're going to learn, you're going to listen, you're going to see that Dad was a hard worker, that he was an investor, he was an entrepreneur, that he was able to build, and this is how he was able to build.
Yeah.
And so I want to show them that it takes your work ethics, that it, it takes hard work, right, to achieve these type of things, that they're just not given to you.
Right.
You know, they weren't given to me. I came here poor, like I mentioned earlier. So all this was hard work, you know, and being consistent and persistent. You know, I want to instill that in my kids and show them that it's every day showing up, even on the days that you don't want to show up.
Yeah.
You know, you show up and you show up strong. And I want them to purchase more property. Obviously, I want them to know that this is how we, like the Albas, this is how we build wealth.
Right.
I was able to build wealth. Yeah, I've owned many businesses, and I've lost many businesses as well.
Yeah.
People need to know that, because they think everything's winning. You have to lose in order to learn to win. And I was able to scale through real estate. So I've always done them side by side. I've always had real estate making me wealthier through the time of me owning businesses. You know what I mean?
Right. I like the way you think. I never thought about that in social media platforms. I didn't even think about social media platforms. Like I was telling you before, I just got in social media about 3-4 months ago. But now you're making me think differently. Okay, I'm going to do all these social medias, not only for the attention, to help the businesses and help other people, but for the family as well.
100%.
Like family will look at you, and like, let's say you get to 200,000 followers, and they will see you.
Yeah.
Even if they don't want to.
Yeah.
Like they'll see you helping others, and then I mean it's a good experience.
Yeah,
for them.
even the followers don't really matter to me, to be honest with you. I'll be completely transparent here with all of you guys. Is right now you can go to my home, my estate, and you will find my 3-year-old and my 6-year-old. They'll see me because I go live, or I'm on, I'm recording, I'm filming, and they'll come and sit at the same chair that I sit on. And they'll talk in front of that screen, and they'll grab a phone, and they'll walk around the whole place, and they're recording themselves and they're talking. And that's what I want them to see. I want them to see, like, hey, you need to get yourself in front of the cameras. You need to get people to know who you are.
Yep.
And this is the future of wealth.
Yep.
You know, it's building relationships. We talked about that earlier.
Connections.
This is how you're going to build the relationship.
Collaborations is the new currency. 100%.
Yeah.
Hey, but just going back, like before, I know right now you have like the millions, you have the Ferrari, and I was going to ask you about the Ferrari as well, but like, how did you get started? Like, I know you've been in business for 23 years, right?
Yeah.
So what was your first business and what drove you there?
First business, well, the first way I started making money, it was Advanced Motorsports. Was the name of the company.
Oh,
I was doing it out of my parents' home.
Yeah.
And I would go to like the street races at night, in Ontario, California, and I would go out and pass out flyers.
This was before Fast and the Furious?
That was right before Fast and the Furious. Yeah.
So you started Fast and the Furious?
Fast and the Furious. This was right before the movie came out. I remember being Some of the cars that some of the buddies had, some of their cars were paid daily to be at the movie session.
Yeah.
$100 a day to have their cars parked there.
Yeah.
So whenever they had the movie scenes of all the cars in the races, they would pay out $100 a day to have your car parked there for the movie. But this is when all that. So imagine the movie, just me being there, and I was passing out flyers. And trying to, get people to fix up their cars, and I would tell them I would fix up their cars for them. But at that time, let me tell you something, Jonathan. At that time, I was like a middleman. None of the people that I was helping, I would actually drive over to Azusa and different areas to build the cars, right? And I would have to go through another company to get to get the engine parts or get like modification parts, the rims, the stuff that I would get for these clients. And none of these companies that I would help build would give me the blueprint. None of them. They would all see me working hard, and they would hide it from me. And I'm like, hey man, I want to get on board. Like, I'm young, hungry. At that time I'm 18, 19 years old, and I'm hungry. And I'm like, hey, let me, and I'm working out of my parents' garage. I'm selling parts. I'm doing what I need to do. And none of them would give me a blueprint. And I don't know why. Like at that time, even now today, I think like, why wouldn't they have?
What do you think it was?
I don't know if it's fear of me taking off or taking away from their pockets because I was making them money as well. But they didn't realize that, what I know now, which is relationships create wealth. Right. That moment, it was a transaction for them. All they were getting was the transactions I was bringing them. But they never saw me in the long run where I would be in the future. Had they built that relationship with me, we would be working together now.
Easily.
We would be making millions together. But now a lot of these people either went out of business or they got burned out. They're not nowhere near where I'm at. And, they saw everything as a transaction at that time. But that's how I got started, just selling parts. And I didn't have an actual building, right? I didn't have a business. I was like I had a business. I went and got my license, my business license and everything. And I was doing everything out of,
so where do you fix your cars?
Garage.
Oh, the garage?
I would fix the cars out of my parents' garage, and I had a buddy who had a shop that I would actually go borrow part of his base. But after that, I started with that, and then my dad got me started. I started working some jobs, because I was like, man, I need to make ends meet. So I started working 2 jobs, making money, and I started making good money. I wouldn't spend I would save my money to start to invest. And so my dad got me started with cars. And buy one car, buy it at a good price. Buy one car, buy it at a good price, drive it for a while, fix it up. You do your little rims, your audio system, and then sell it later, sell it for more, get that money, put some more money in and get a better car and do the same thing. So I started flipping cars.
So that's when your business mentality started?
Yeah. Doing that, I started. I've done it all, man. If you're an entrepreneur, I've done it all. I started with Cutco. I don't know if any of you guys know what Cutco is, but selling knives. I was selling knives. I was in the MLM world for a minute. Multi level marketing. Doing conferences and trying to sell. At that time was prepaid legal. So I did a bunch of different things, trying to find my ways to what I really wanted to do. But when I did real estate, when I flipped my first property, man, that was like an eye opener for me. I did in one flip what I would do in a whole year, working 2 jobs and doing high side hustles. So it opened my eyes to real estate and the wealth that it brings. Because I'm like, wait a minute, I've been working hard. I'm a hard worker. I've been working for a total of a whole year to make this amount of money that I just made, and I didn't even lift a finger. Like I had someone paint the place, and then that's it. And I turned around and sold the place, and I made my yearly salary in one flip. So it opened my eyes to really start doing real estate. And one thing I tell entrepreneurs and everyone that you should know is know yourself, know who you really are. I knew at that time I didn't want to become an agent. I didn't want to become a lender. I didn't want to become a broker. Like I knew that I wasn't a team builder. I didn't want to build a team. I wanted to be the investor. I wanted to be the investor.
The one with the money, the big guy.
I wanted the guy to come in, be the guy to come in, buy the properties, and be that guy that they come to. I want the lenders and everyone else to come to me. And so I knew that right off the back in the beginning. So I never got confused. I never got sidetracked. So that's why I was able to be an investor for so long, right? And I talked about losses. Let me tell you something. In 2008, when the market crashed, I over leveraged myself. I ended up, buying too many things and going crazy. I was growing social media back then was Facebook. I would throw Facebook parties
Yeah.
and allow anybody to show up. Like, just show up. I have money to blow. Everyone show up. I got a pool. I got anything. You guys can show up. And I was like
This was back in 2008?
Yeah, before 2008.
In the IE?
Yeah, in the IE.
Yeah.
This is like the 06 time, 05,
Yeah.
even 07 before the market crashed. And I was spending money like a dummy, right? And I just, I was young and I didn't understand how to build a strong foundation. And through losing it all in 2008, I lost all my companies. I lost all my cars. I lost my house, my own personal homes.
Yeah.
All my staff, right? Everybody.
How did you lose everything?
I lost everything.
Did you saw it coming, or it just came all of a sudden?
You know what? I didn't.
How did it go?
I didn't. I did one day showing up to the office, and then one bank closes. The next day showing up to the office, now 3 more banks close. Now everyone's closing.
Yeah.
And this is our deals that were on the pipeline.
Yeah.
We're gone. Every day was just gone. What do you mean? We got to go somewhere else. Can we find someone else? Nowhere else to go to. All the banks were closing. So we were losing all our deals, and then trying to catch up with no money coming in. I didn't have a strong foundation. I thought this was going to be forever.
What was going through your mind?
What am I going to do next?
Yeah.
And then when I lost everything, it was like, I think I already have that in me. Like, I was like, what am I doing next? What am I doing next?
You have the hustle already.
Yeah, I was like, I'm losing it all, and I had to deal with the truth of it. Like, there's nothing. I was trying to search where else to go, and everything that had to do with real estate was nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Everyone was losing. And so construction, I had a construction company at the time. Everyone was losing. Everyone was calling me and trying to figure out where to go.
Yeah.
And so I lost everything, but I ended up back at my parents' home. They opened their doors for me, and build again. I ended up at that time I ended up calling a buddy of mine that was selling cars.
Right.
Me and him would call each other like, I'm making a killing over here. He's like, I'm making a killing too, right? Because the
just
market.
to brag,
yeah. And then I'm like, dude, I'll never go sell cars. Like, that's the last thing I would do in my life. And that's where I ended up.
Yeah.
That's why I said, don't be so prideful, right? I ended up selling cars. I called him and said, hey,
never
man,
say never.
Yeah. I was like, I need a job, man. I need to make the mortgages. I need to do something.
Yeah.
And he gave me a job, which got me on my feet for a couple months.
Yeah.
And then I ended up borrowing some money from my parents to open my first business again.
Yeah.
So I opened at that time, my last construction site was an automotive repair center that was the same friend that allowed me to work out of his place when I was doing my motorsports and when I was a young kid.
Yeah.
So he allowed me to go and remodel his place. That was one of our job sites. And that was my last job site. So he hired me on to help with his books and help collection.
Right.
Help collect some money that was owed to him because he was on terms with a lot of people that owed him money.
Yeah.
So I came in to help him when the market crashed. And after that, I asked him, hey, can you help me open my own tire shop, man?
Yeah.
Open just a tire shop, something.
Yeah.
And he helped me with that money. And I started with I tell people all the time, you can start with as little as 20K. You don't need a lot of money. You need drive. You need your why, right? I talk about your why. And you need like $20,000 and you can rock and roll with it.
Yeah, a lot of people think you need money, this and that. But if you know about like business, if you know about like revenue, you know about service, you don't need capital. You don't need forward investment. You just need to like know that you need to be making at least $250,000 in $250,000 in revenue per employee. That's all you need, because if you have that, then you're like at 30, 40, 50% profit.
Yeah.
And from there you just build up,
You build up.
Yeah.
And then my thing when I started back up, everything was going back into the business. So I literally lived off of cup of noodles, Maruchan,
those are the best.
You name it. Like I didn't rely on my parents. I didn't rely on my parents' income or anything like that. I mean, they let me stay back in their home. So my goal was that when I ended up back at their home, my goal was like, okay, everyone turned their backs on me when I lost everything. When I had everything, everyone was present.
Yeah, yeah.
The moment I lost everything, everyone was gone. No one was reaching out. No one. Everyone that I helped build millions and build even 6 figures.
Yeah.
Even my own contractors and everyone in my own staff.
Yeah.
Turned their backs on me. Everyone was gone. And so the only people that opened their doors for me was my parents.
Yeah.
And so when I went back into their home, I said, you know what? This is my new why.
That's crazy.
Like this is now when I build again, I'm going to pay off their home, which is my dad's dream, right? To pay off his home. They worked so hard for it. So I'm going to pay off their home. I'm going to retire them young and I'm going to get them some cash flow. And that's exactly what I did. I turned around and I was like, I'm gonna do this for them, and I started building. Yeah. And little by little, started with the money that was coming in from the tire shop at that time. It was a tire shop, and I converted it into an automotive repair place. So I started doing automotive repair. Yeah. And start adding more things that you can service. And little by little, so that money that came in, I would grab it, put it back into the business. grab it, put it back into the business. I would literally use like 10% of it.
Yeah.
And the rest, 90% goes back into the business, staff, marketing, whatever we need, put it back into merchandise, and then keep feeding the business until the business made me enough where I was able to purchase the first property. And here we go again. Let's start investing.
This was back in what, 2015?
No, I started back in like 2009.
Oh, 2009. Wow.
Yeah, I waited about it. I told you.
Right after.
Right after, I was like, if I could borrow some money, I already have the knowledge. That's why I tell people, get the knowledge, get the information. Once you know it, you can already implement. You know, learn. You got to listen, learn, and apply yourself. I mean, if you can't apply yourself, then all that information you just received for nothing. All those notes means nothing.
Yeah.
And me, I went through all that and I crashed, but I knew what I had built before. So I was like, I know how to do this. I just got to keep it moving and do it again. When I have enough money racked up and I could start investing again. And then I was able to pay off my parents' home. We were able to get them a multi-unit complex that started paying them and retiring them.
Passive income.
And passive income until the day they live off of that. You know, like earlier this year, they were off for like the beginning months. They were on vacation everywhere, traveling. That's what they could do. Right. And so
that's amazing.
And their house is paid for. So it's like they don't have to worry about a mortgage. And then the taxes, we help take care of them. That's it. That's the taxes once a year. And so that's everyone's why changes, right? And like I told you, my why has changed. But at that time and moment, I was like, I was at my lowest point. And who opened the doors for me? My parents. So I said, you know what? I need to do something for them this time. Not be selfish. I need to make sure I take care of them first. And the rest comes, afterwards.
I love it. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's the drive, man. The drive and the why that's going to get you where you need to be.
How do you get that drive? How do you stay motivated? What do you think it's...
I think it's that chip.
How do you do it?
I think it's
do you have it or do you like push yourself to have that?
No, I have... I think it's instilled in me, but I think every day I still have to push myself.
Yeah.
That I don't think I know. Every day it's on me.
How do you push yourself?
I don't blame it on anyone else. I compete against myself. I don't compete against everyone else. So every day I'm always adamant about like, what did I do yesterday? Okay, what do I need to do today? What do I need to get done? Like, how do I need to win today to win today, to win tomorrow, to win the next day and the next. And so I always compete against myself. One thing that I did when I was younger, I would put my salary. This is how much I make right now for a year. Okay, next year I gotta double that.
The
year after that I gotta double that. So like every time I go back to the basics, keep it simple.
You play the doubles game.
And then I push myself because it's on me. And I took that blame away from everybody. I think like God helped me. Also another thing too. I'm a very I don't want to say I'm not religious. I'm a believer. I'm a believer in God, and I'm a strong believer in the fact that God gave me this gift to help others. But at the same time, I've always helped, when wanting to help my family. Now I'm able to help others but I couldn't do that before helping myself. So the moment I realized that, hey, it's on me to deliver every day. It's if anything goes wrong in any of my companies or any of my investments, it's on me. I don't blame everyone else. I know like if something went wrong, I take all initiative and say, hey, it's on me. There's something that I didn't do correctly that I got to go back and see, and then get with the team and get with everyone to make sure that we do it right the next time. So I always look at myself and hold myself accountable. You know yourself as well. When you're a business owner or an investor, it's on you. You take a hit, it's on you. I lost in 2008. At the end of the day, I couldn't look at the crowd. At the end of the day, I was me in that room on that bed, looking up at the ceiling, just like, I'm broke. Why am I broke? What did I do wrong? What could I have done different?
But you know the difference between us and the people who are born rich? Like people who are already rich, like, I mean, if they go broke, some of them, they kill themselves. I mean, they commit suicide. For us, we don't care. We can go back to like day to day. Doesn't matter. 100%. We can go back again. We
understand what it is. And in 2008, I was around a lot of people that did that. Exactly what you just said. They killed themselves. They killed their families. There was tough moments, man. It was very tough for a lot of people. A lot of us that, were used to making so much money, and then it was gone overnight and then end up on the streets. Luckily, like I said, my parents allowing me to stay there. But there's a lot of people.
Why? Because they don't have their why. Their why is that money. And that's not even real. It's just tangible money.
That's it.
That's it.
And then if you made it once, you could do it again. That's all I always say.
100%. And you'll do it faster. You do it from scratch and you start it correctly.
This is why you got to love social media, because you get in the room with somebody like ourselves that's already built it. It's already done it. You learn and you get there faster. Right now, it's all about time. Time is of the essence. So
exactly.
you get yourself into a room with a mentor or a coach, someone that's already been there, done that. Not someone that just did it a year ago or 2 years ago, because anyone can win when the wave is here.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. Anyone can win when the wave is here. Exactly. I started, I've fallen many times, but I started in 2009 when I started all over again.
Yeah.
And people were telling me, "What are you, crazy? How are you going to open a business in this market? It's crap. Like nobody's running businesses right now. No one's trying to do anything.
Yep.
Nobody's investing."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You're wrong. This is when the millionaires are going to be made."
Yep.
And I did exactly that. That's where your mindset has to change. And a lot of us were born into a broke mindset. My parents taught me this. Nothing against my parents, but they taught me to save. Save your money for the rainy days. Be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful with your money. Man, I'm broke every day, guys. The moment I get money in the account, I hate money in the accounts. All my bankers know this. When money hits the account, I'm like, don't get used to it, because the moment I get a chance to get the next deal, I'm putting that money back out there because I need it to make money. I don't want that money to sit there in the savings, losing money every day.
Yeah. I'm with you 100%. You got to play the office game. And stay broke all the time. I just bought a building. It was $1.3 million. And even though I only had I had like $1 million on the bank on the company account, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna buy it. I bought that building. I started broke, and then everything started highlighting. So because we had so much liquid cash on the companies, and it was a bunch of money, so everything was happy. So once I bought that building, everything started highlighting. So now I went back and I'm like, what's going on? And we started doing job costing, checking the P&L like twice a month. Just I'm on it right now. 100%. So now we're optimizing. Yeah. That made us like change and be more adaptable to new systems, like new apps, checking every position. So before we had like a growth structure, and we have like, okay, this is what like an apprentice, a supervisor, manager, like the whole SOPs. But now it's more like, okay, now I'm building like videos and new trainings and operation manuals, like all different stuff. But what drove that? Buying that building.
Putting yourself.
So we don't have money. We're broke. Exactly. So now we gotta create more income.
Exactly.
So the way I see it is like just don't think about what you're spending now. Just continue spending the same. Just don't spend more, or even if you spend more, but create more income. Yeah. So if you're creating more income, you get that extra cash flow, and that's where you get your assets.
And that's the biggest thing that I kind of go over. People ask me like how we've been able to do it. My parents, like I said, worked for companies for many years. Yeah, but they were really good with their money. Right. Like my dad's a little bit more of a shiny object person, right? He likes the good stuff. He drives he bought his like the car that he drives was his dream car forever. So he has a Cobra, and so and he likes the gold and the jewelries and the watches and stuff. Like I even get him to like help me with stuff like that because I'm not that person. But my mom's more like the one that's really good with the books, and so I've always been kind of like that, right? Like especially after losing it all, and kind of learning how to actually manage money. Yeah. But not only that is I do everything on a 10% basis. Like, look, we can live off of 10%. Even if we're making more, we don't need to spend more because we're already, we're doing good here. Yeah. So now we can invest more. Exactly. So that's what people don't understand. Like if you get higher credit limits on your credit card, that means invest more of that money. Exactly. Right. If you get more loans, invest majority of that money that you get off those loans. It doesn't mean go out and spend it on things that aren't going to actually create an ROI for you. The biggest ROI is the one you should be investing in. Is what's the return on your investment for that particular building, right? Like you just said, you go broke on a building, but that building is not going to make you broke. It's going to make you temporarily broke, but it's a huge investment. Huge investment. Yeah, it was a cash offer, and that building is like $3 million. So probate sale. The guy who's selling that building, who sold that building, he passed away. So it was a probate sale. So it was a great deal. Yeah, it's a corner lot. Actually, it's 2 lots in one. So basically, down the road, knock down that building, build up some units, whatever. That's awesome. It's gonna be like $10-15 million. Return. But let me tell you what I took away. Over time, but let me tell you what I took away from what you just said right now. Yeah. Not only the building has equity in it, right? But what it did for you guys. It opened your mind to going, hey, wait a minute, let's see what's going on with the businesses now because we're broke.
Yeah.
Right. And that's exactly what it does for me. Every time I go broke, it's like, okay, let me go back to the drawing board. Yeah. And it's like I live it over and over again.
Yeah.
I went back to the drawing board and go, okay, what are we doing? Where are we doing wrong? Hey, okay, we need to market more here. We need to switch this out over here. Let me talk to my team over here. What's going on over? You start paying attention to everything that's going on.
You start getting creative. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And in order to stay alive, you got to stay creative.
Yeah.
That's people don't realize that. 23 years in business.
Yeah.
And I'm having to reinvent, not reinvent, but get creative as you go. Because a lot of things is repetitive.
Right.
You know, a lot of things, history repeats itself for real. So when you're a business owner, take note of the things that you've had, like me, obviously the 08 and things like that. Those or any other businesses like partnerships that have gone wrong, where I've had people take advantage of me and take money from me. And I've learned. I go back and write it all down. Hey, these are the situations that happened. This I over leverage. I ended up coming into that partnership, higher than this individual. So this is why they were able to take advantage. And going back and saying, okay, if this repeats itself, now I know what to do. Right. Now I know how not to get involved, even if it looks great on the outside or even in the books. But then this individual, matches this other individual, then you get to know a little bit more of what you've done in the past. And that's how you learn.
1,000%.
People are scared.
1,000%.
Don't be scared.
If you're going to fail 1,000 times, just do it in a whole year. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much times you fail because you're learning. They're not failures. Yeah. You're learning every single time. Yeah. But if you fail again, the same thing, then that means you're stupid. Yeah. Because if you do the same mistake like 10 times, then I mean, you got to fail fast to move forward faster.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter because you're still going to pay the price. Pay the price now.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if you're young.
Yeah.
If you're young, don't hesitate.
Yeah.
Like if you're young, don't hesitate. Jump on it. Get it done. Now is the time, not later. Even in the market, the current market, like when the markets are down, this is the perfect times to get involved. This is when I ended up building last, and this is when we're building now. Yeah. Like we're building, new businesses right now as we speak because of the market and where it's at right now.
Exactly.
We love these moments. These are the moments to strive.
Yep.
When everyone's scared and going like this, oh man, no, I don't want to make the next move. I'm like, give me the next move. Give me the next move. I'll take it.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I have another story around that same mentality. Like on what was it, 2020 on COVID. So everybody started shutting down, and I saw the opportunity. You got to catch those trends. So I'm like, okay, the mask. So my brother, they sue. Like in Mexico, they used to sue like pants, wallets, jackets and stuff. And I'm like, how much does it cost to make a mask? And then he's like, 60 cents. Okay, we're going to go all in. I invested $100,000 on masks. And I made like $750,000.
Right away.
$750,000, I don't know, like in 2-3 months.
Wow.
And then downtown shut down when it opened again. And everybody was selling left and right. You know what? Let's stop. We gave all the masks away. And then we continued the business.
That's it.
Hire more people, double, triple down, quadruple on marketing, hiring guys. Because people were letting people go, good guys. Yeah. So we started just hiring and building up the team. So that's how we grew basically with double.
Wow, that's amazing.
When everybody was like scarcity at home, like watching TV, watching Netflix,
what's the next
I was working 20 hours a day, delivering masks, like 4 a.m. to like 1 in the morning.
And that's the one thing too. I know other people that did the same exact thing as you.
Yeah.
That lost that money because they didn't know when to cut it out. Like this is it.
Yeah, they came in the wrong time.
Yeah, like you were in, you made that money, and you said, okay, now that it's done, let's give the rest away. We made this much. This is it.
That's it.
This is where we continue back to our business.
Yeah.
For other people, it was like, this is the opportunity. And then they have nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
So they were like, well, let me go back in with that money. Right. They make 300,000, they make 100,000,
right.
500,000. They went back into the mask, and all of a sudden they're stuck with a bunch of masks and inventory. They didn't have to do dude, you take it for what it is, learn when to cut it out, and then keep moving. Yeah.
Cause I was selling the mask. I'm not even kidding you. Like I posted a message on OfferUp, and I'm not even kidding you. I got like 200 messages. We had like $20,000 masks. I sold them like in one swing, one message. Wow. No marketing whatsoever.
Wow.
Everybody was desperate. Yeah. People coming from Victorville, Riverside, the IE, everywhere, bro. I'm telling you. When everything closed down and they reopened, there was all these people like on the gas stations, downtown here, all over the place, selling masks. I sold it to them. I'm like, that's here it is.
And you're built, and obviously you built here in the downtown area in Los Angeles.
Downtown.
And this is where you're at.
Yep.
That's what I tell people, like, own your area. Yep. Wherever you guys are at, like, own your area. If you're in if you're in like me, I'm in the Inland Empire. I own the Inland Empire. Like I talk about it. I love it. You know, I might be in Bel Air. I'm here in downtown LA right now, but wherever I'm at, it doesn't matter. I still represent my area because I build in my zip codes.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case with you, but I know
same
that
thing.
you
I built up here in downtown LA, Boyle Heights, so everything's connected.
Yeah.
My commute is like 5, 10, 15 minutes.
100%.
So it's just in the same area.
Don't make it complicated, guys. So many of you want to go to other states and other countries, and I'm like, you're here building your area, and then you can start doing other things.
I mean, those are the shiny objects. A lot of people, he's doing well. Well, he's doing well because he's all in his company. He's doing well. So a lot of people want to do multiple things.
Yeah.
Just focus on one thing. Like if you notice all the rich people, they got rich off of one thing. And then they started like, once they master that, they duplicate themselves, then they start expanding to other businesses. Yeah.
I build wealth in one and one only, and then I continued, right? That's one of the things that I learned for losing it all. Right. Was, hey, I need to build a strong foundation because I was that person. I wanted to be that next, you know, at that time was like the Master P, the Jay-Z's, you know, I'm listening to this music or the Puff Daddies. I wanted to start throwing all kinds of money everywhere. So I put money into like a computer chip company, which I knew nothing about. I was telling Tony earlier, I did a music studio. I opened a music studio. I had a music label. I was doing so many different things at the time of owning the construction company, doing the real estate, the lending, the investment firm. And here we are doing all these things. And I'm like, let me just throw money everywhere. And I didn't realize that I was losing the focus on the strong foundation of what really built my wealth at that moment.
Right.
And now that we're here, man, what took me 10 years to build, we build in 2 years. Yeah. When we rebuild again.
Because you had the blueprint
already.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, this is what I did. This is how we do it. And now from now on, we will continue to do it this way. Right. And that's how it's been ever since, man.
That's crazy. So right now, how many businesses do you own at the same time?
I have partnerships. So I have a couple partnerships, and then I have a total of 4. See, the businesses that I own, I like to have businesses within the businesses. So I do the ecosystem where it's kind of going, you know, I have tires, let's just say the tire shops, right? The tire shop does. Then we have the mechanics, you know, the automotive repair center and that. Right. And then we have the collision center. So we deal with insurance claims.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
So then
that's the way to do it.
That's the way to kind of build, and it feeds each other. So when one is down, the other one's up, and it just feeds each other. That's on that line of it. And then we have, obviously now we have the investment firm, which we've had, the real estate. So we don't really do lending and purchasing and selling for other people, but we do if they're in our circle, right? If we help them, other business owners and people that are in our circle. In my coaching program, we help them as well. Right. But for the most part, it's just investing. All we're doing is investing, and we're doing holding right now. So, you know, because that's where the wealth is built, is holding. I tell people, like, you can flip. Flipping is a job. Once you hold and you get to actually hold for a while, you can turn around and sell that property and make $1 million right away. Right. And then start making more and more money. That's where the wealth is built. That's how I build my wealth.
So what's the best investment on real estate overall, like wholesale flips and new construction? Like, what would you say is the best investment with the most cash flow? Like long term and short term.
Multi-units for sure. Multi-units when you're holding and but it's not as easy as it seems for a lot of people.
It's not.
But I think holding multi-units gives you this. It gives you the ability to do what you would do with an SFR, which is a single family residence, just one home. With a duplex, you're doing the same thing but twice. Right. And in a triplex, you're doing the same thing but 3 times. So when you have a 6 unit or an 18 unit, or it's like doing the same thing but in one single location. Right. For like many different properties. So even though it's only one property, but you have different doors, right? Yep. So you get to level up, like we were talking about earlier. You get to charge extra on rent. You increase the equity there. You do some modifications. You increase the value there because now you have paint. Now you have countertops. Now you have flooring. So those are I think the one you can leverage the most is multi-units. But I have lending. I have people that are in the land business and development business, and they do well in that business as well. Yeah. So I just feel like whatever you feel more comfortable with and you enjoy doing, right? As long as it's real estate based, jump on it and get it done. That's what I can tell you and advise you.
You think the location matters?
It used to. Yeah. I think overall it doesn't matter anymore because I feel like I've gone to the hood, right? We're both at the hood, and I made money. and I've gone to places that are prime locations and made money. So it doesn't matter where you go. I mean, it matters. Location matters. If you can afford to buy in Malibu, why not, right? Let's go to Malibu, buy a property, fix it up and flip it,
right?
Or hold it because you can afford that. But not all of us can afford Malibu. So let's be transparent here, right? And realistic. Anyone can go and purchase in the hoods or in the neighborhoods that are growing in a new community. You can go and buy a property with 5% down, 3.5% down, and then that property might increase within time. And now you made some money in real estate. You got your feet wet. So I would tell you guys, like, really get involved in any aspect that you can get involved with in real estate. I don't care if you're going to make 30,000. I used to do real estate where I was only making like 27,000, and other investors wouldn't touch those properties because they were like, "What the heck are you doing?" But I had no other choice. Like, I'm broke. I have to start all over again. Like, let me have it. I'll pay you. I would pay that investor, a wholesale fee, right? And then just be like, "Let me have it. I'll do it." Like, why? Because I'm not at your level. And you got to understand where you're at. In your journey, and understand, like, okay, I'm not at this level, but I'll take this deal. Okay. So not every investor is going to take your deal. So don't think like, oh, everyone's out to get you, because they're not. Everybody's at different levels. And so just for me, it's anything that's real estate based is a good investment. Right. I always say, if you own a business, you should own real estate.
You think a house is a good investment or no?
Yeah, a house. Yeah. Okay. I think a house overall. Like, I think overall, any real estate, any property. I own land. I own commercial. I own multi-units, and I own SFRs. So if you ask me, like, anything that has to do with real estate, I think it's great. As long as it's in the buy. As long as you bought it at a good price, like you did yourself with the building. As long as it's always in the buy, guys. If you buy at a good price, you're always going to win.
You're good.
You're good. I don't care if you flip it, if you don't fix it, if you fix it, whatever, if you rent it, if you cash flow, you're always going to win.
Right.
But it has to be real estate, and it has to be in the buy. And anytime is always in the purchase.
Always in the buy. So it's better to wait and find the right property.
Don't get desperate and buy just any property. You always want to buy something that's going to give you, the right amount of profit. You know what I mean? Because if you turn around and you get desperate and you buy this property because someone told you this is a good deal and it's not, like, I would say, don't get eager to get into the wrong place. Take your time, find the right purchase and at the right buy. And get yourself in the room with an investor. Get yourself with somebody that's already done it. Someone that's already purchased property and is making money, and that's already done it before. So that way you don't have to run the risk of doing it on your own, winging it, and then find out later, I just lost my whole family's savings, and getting into the wrong deal because I was told this is the best deal, and it wasn't. And I know a lot of people that are falling into those shoes, and I wish I could help. And so, so back into that, like the mentorship. Let's talk about mentorship.
And before we continue to the next topic, just to finish off the real estate, where do you find those deals? Like, for the audience, where do you find that $1 million deal?
Networking. I talk to everyone and anyone. And so I have people that are brokers. I have people that are lenders. I have people that are wholesalers. I have anyone and everyone. I have people that are just your average person that's ready to retire, that, hits my people up or myself up, and then they I get the message, and hey, there's a property up for sale. Do you want to take a look at it? Let me look at it. If the money's there, it's not even listed. Sometimes they're listed. I'll be honest with you guys too. Sometimes we just purchased a property that was listed incorrectly by the agent and the broker. Because the broker has to take responsibility, right? But it was listed incorrectly because they didn't do their homework, and we purchased the property. And the property had $250,000 in equity already. So how do we? Money. And here's the thing: that $250,000. Think about it. That's what it's kind of crazy because in the real estate game that we're in, now I'm that investor, right? That I won't touch something that's $30,000 or $20,000. No,
it's not worth your time. I know. You need $100,000 in the buck.
It's knowing where you're at. And so now it's like, this is not $250,000. We're not touching it. And it's crazy because that wasn't me back then. But I tell you, it doesn't matter where you start. It's just getting started and getting in the room with the right person that's going to help you understand the game. But I think overall, like that deal, it was on the MLS. So. Who missed it? Why they missed it? They didn't do their homework. I'm an investor. I'm not an agent. I'm not a broker. I'm not a lender. So as an investor, and my team already knows this is what we're looking for. Let's do our homework, and then that's the deal. Let's grab it before they know what they're actually. They don't even know what they're doing. I'm not going to tell them. So, we grabbed that deal, man. So
I mean, that's why you need to know how to play the game.
100%.
So you can win.
Yeah.
So you were saying about mentorship.
Yeah, so mentorship, so coaching and mentorship programs, I believe in them. I've been over, I don't know how much you've been invested, but me, myself, I think at the beginning, just 3 months of the year, I was already over 6 figures invested in mentorships. And I don't go crazy, but I do spend a lot of money on it with individuals. Like there's certain individuals I want to get in the room with that I'll pay the money to get in the room. And I'm not talking a conference. I don't go to these big conferences. I want to get in the room with the individual like this. And hey, if you give me an hour of your time, I'm going to take these notes. And I'm going to listen. Exactly. I'm gonna learn and I'm gonna apply myself.
You're gonna take massive action.
100%. So I'm gonna go back home and we're gonna go into a full effect and we're gonna make it happen. So I'm a big believer in mentorships and coaching programs. I feel like which is why I'm offering them myself now, because I know there's the next Diego out there, right? The next Jonathan out there
100%.
That's looking for that help and doesn't have it. I wish I had it. I wish I had it when I was starting as a young guy, right? Remember I told you nobody was letting me in the room. Everyone was trying to push me away because I was making money for them. Right. No one helped me. So I want to be able to be that to people through IGNYTEthefire.com. We help people find really if they want to be an investor, if they're already an investor, but they don't know how to make the next move. Some people own 1 or 2 properties, but then they get scared. Yeah. Like they feel a little bit or they get a little bit of money and then they want to hold on and they don't want to let go of nothing because I'm like, I don't know what to do next. I don't want to lose it. Yeah. No, like let's go, let's grow, let's build wealth. I help them with money management. I help them, because I was there. I was left with full debt, a bunch of credit card debt, all at high interest. I had no money coming in when I lost everything in 2008. Yeah. So I've been that person. So I try to help them and coach them on money management and how to grow from there into, if you're an entrepreneur, how to build next to your small business or even a massive business that you may own, how to build real estate next to it. Because I know millionaires that are making millions in their business right now that spend a lot of money in taxes because they don't know how to play the real estate game where they can actually depreciate so much. And I've done this all my life. I've done this all my life as an entrepreneur. I've always had real estate to offset all my expenses. Yeah. And so this is what we've been doing with the coaching and the mastermind.
No, I love what you just said about that money, like the extra income. Instead of like just buying cars or things like that, you can just leverage buying the property and then reinvesting the money again, and you don't have to pay taxes.
100%. Yeah. And then when you're a business owner that's already making $1 million, why are you going to pay taxes to the IRS when you can grab that money and invest it in real estate? And now you have depreciation and you've lost some money. And now you're actually able to flip that money and money's working for you in that real estate while you're still building your business. Like you're doing yourself right now. You're building your businesses and you're not taking away. You're doing real estate investing on the side and that real estate is making you money. Yep. You don't have to step away for that extra $1 million that's already made in equity on your building. Exactly. It's doing it for you. Yep. That's true wealth.
It's not how much you make. It's how much you keep.
100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Let's get wealthy and again, I have a 5K mastermind coming up June.
There it is.
June 22nd. Okay. It's a 5K mastermind. We're going to go over your books. You can bring your laptop. You can bring all your books. You can see, you bring your empire with you if it's a small business, a bigger business. And I'm going to actually sit with you, spend the whole day with you and dissect your business and see if what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what I think you should do to step away from the business and where you should take the hits, because you're going to take some hits. I just want to show you where you should take those hits, and that way you can grow from there, from the outside looking in, because that's true ownership of a business, and that's how you're going to get business valuation. And that's where you're going to be able to sell your business in the future for millions. Yeah. And a lot of millionaires, the really big millionaires are made, 3-figure millionaires, right, are made out in the sales, selling their businesses, not keeping the businesses. And so you want to be able to do that, stepping away. And that's what I'm working on right now is stepping away on evaluation. We're trying to get the good evaluation on the businesses so we can sell. Yeah. And then
man, I love what you just said about like the businesses and selling the businesses, because you always have to be ready to sell, always. So the way you do that is you always have to be looking into your business. Like you said, go over the books, go over how to make it more profitable
100%.
And get it away from the business. Because if you're in the business, then it's not as profitable. No. You have to be away. Yeah. The company has to be working by itself and automated and continue growing like 10, 15% or even more in order to be more profitable. Yeah. I mean, I love that. Yeah. And where can people sign up for that 5K mastermind?
You guys can find us at Ignite Event. Ignite Event, that's IGNYTE event, EVENT. No S at the end, just Ignite Event. You can find us on IG. You can find me, Diego Alba. That's one Diego Alba. And then you can also find me in other platforms. That's for IG. On other platforms, you can find me as the one Diego Alba. So spelled out, the one Diego Alba, on Facebook, LinkedIn, X. I mean, you name it. I'm all over the place. But I want you guys to come get in the room, man. I really want to help you guys scale your businesses. Yes, this is a commitment. It's I want you guys to commit the investment in yourself. It's a 5K investment for a full day, but it's an investment in yourself and your businesses and your growth and wealth building, because I'm going to help you build that wealth. I'm not here to I'm not just going to hoorah you down like a conference. I'm going to actually sit down with you, look at your books, look at your numbers, go over my numbers, and even explain what I did and how I was able to build throughout the years and how I rebuilt in 2008. Not only build the original time, but how I was able to rebuild again in 2 years, what took me 10 years prior.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing, is really trying to get it down into giving them some value. They can go back home and boom, we're going to blow up the business.
Yeah. So we're going to list all the links down here or up here. And not only that, but he's just throwing in golden nuggets after value, after knowledge. So you guys got to listen and take massive action. 5K is nothing. He already invested over $500,000, even more. And that's so much value, and you're going to get all of that in one day. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, I would probably just go on there, buy the 5K, and show up. If you want to take your business to the next level.
100%. Right? 100%. You can either think small or think big, but we can't make you guys think big. The way we think now, it's not, we can't put that on anyone else. It's on every individual. So take ownership of it and let's get it.
Yeah, no, a lot of people think too small. You got to think bigger. Yeah. 100%. Bro, I think we only I feel like we just touched the surface, like the tip of the iceberg, bro. Yeah. I mean, I gotta have you again on the second session, but for sure, man.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much for being here, bro. Yeah. And thank you everybody for tuning in. Please chime in on, we're gonna be, what episode is this? I think it's episode 14. It's gonna be released in the next coming days. But thank you for chiming in, and peace out.
Let's get it.
Thank you, brother.